still working at the Flame. Now I'm in radio a little bit, like I'm training, but it's still a weekend part-time role. So I'm like, I'm used to this bread. I'm still in the Flame, right? The trap had its hold on me.
How to beat the trap. Peace, family, and you know what time it is. We are back in the trap, and I want to welcome you to How to Beat the Trap, our podcast hosted by me, Jay Morrison, and I want to introduce you guys to my beloved guest, my sister, the queen, Bree Renee.
What's up?
Entrepreneur extraordinaire.
Hey, Jay, thanks for having me.
Radio personality. All that, phenomenal queen. Thank you for coming to the trap.
Man, thank you for welcoming me to the trap.
Hanging
I ain't
out
no
with me
stranger
today.
to the trap.
I know you ain't no stranger to the trap. New. This is new in real life.
In real life. Like, I need my credits for that movie. They wrote it about me.
Right. So, Queen, thank you for coming through. So, for our audience, the trap is defined as a program or system that is meant to entice or entangle you, but secretly for the benefit of another, right? And so what we do is we bring an extraordinary guest on, entrepreneurs, overachievers, who have either circumvented, beat, ran through, or got out of some of America's most infamous traps.
Right.
So we're gonna discuss that today. And how I like to do in the trap, just like if we was on a run together and we seen that we was about to get boxed in, we gotta back up out of that thing.
Right.
So where I wanna start is, I wanna start with who Bree Renee is. Bree Renee from the A, who you are today, personally, professionally, tell everyone about just all the amazing things that you're doing. And I want to interview you, and then we want to talk about how you got there next. But first, I want to talk about like your platform right now, the amazing things you're doing. We know you just were in BMF as an actress, and we know that you're on the radio and all of that. But tell them all about those things and who Bree is.
So what's up, y'all? Welcome, hi, thank you for inviting me into the trap. Thank you, Jay, for that lovely intro. My name is Bree Renee. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. That's why I go by Bree Renee from the A. That's my radio personality name. I'm a radio personality on Streetz 94.5 FM here in Atlanta. Actress as well. Been in a couple things. BMF just aired. Done a lot of tales on BET as well. Producing now with Queen Ernestine. We got some things in the works. So definitely got my producer hat on. Entrepreneur as well. Definitely have a couple businesses. Higher Being Society, where I sell my waist trainers, my fitness book, and I talk about how I lost 45 pounds and maintained it. That was a trap too. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna get to that.
Another trap. But that's who I am. But overall, I just love people, man. I'm a people person. I'm super open to like having type of conversations like this and just educating people. So that's where I am now.
Awesome. I love it. So radio personality in like Black Mecca. Atlanta's, one of the poppin' cities in America.
I love my city. Like, when people think about Atlanta, I feel like you have to understand the jewels and gems that Atlanta has to offer. And being born and raised here, I love Atlanta so much. That's why I was like, I'm Bree Renee from the A so much. I got it tatted on me. Like, it's in my blood.
That's so funny. You do a little bankhead bounce when you say that, too. I'm Bree Renee from the A.
Bree Renee from the A. You got to know. I love Atlanta so much. There's no other place like it. Like you said, the Black Mecca.
Tell our audience, what are some gems in Atlanta? Like, if they've never been, like, why should someone come to Atlanta? What's here?
I know everybody's like, we all full, don't move here. But I'm always trying to encourage our people to move to Atlanta because there's no other city where you can find a population of Black entrepreneurs, Black business owners, and just the community of Black people that are helping, working together, as well as like the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started here, and just the heartbeat of the civil rights movement, just our history, and even some of the things like Mayor Jackson and our mayors have put in place for Black entrepreneurs to succeed for decades to come. I feel like there's no other city that was as proactive about thinking about Black people in our future. So I feel like we've really benefited off of that over these past 50, 60 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I get offended when people come here and don't really like do right by Atlanta. Like, it's like, nah, come here and don't bring all that crime and stuff.
Add value.
Right, add value. Come network. It's so many people that you can network and meet here. You can touch anybody that you've ever thought of working with. They're gonna come to Atlanta, and they're accessible. So like, don't take it for granted.
Gotcha. So how'd you get into being a radio personality? I want to talk about that one, because that's like, for you it might seem common, but for me, I think it's amazing. I just grew up listening to like Wendy Williams and grew up listening to Angie Martinez, right, like Hot 97 in New York and all that kind of stuff. And the radio personalities, although you didn't get to see them as much back then, and now
now we got social media,
right?
Yeah.
So like now you're out there and you're beautiful. So like that adds all to it, right?
Thanks.
So, but it's like to be a radio personality in a major city where people are hearing your voice every day on their commutes to work and in their households and all of that. But how'd you get into that? And like, what was your aspiration there?
So I always knew I was gonna be in radio. It's crazy. I used to listen to Joyce Littell growing up. If you're from Atlanta, she was on V103. She had The Quiet Storm. Okay. So I used to go to sleep listening to her. I loved music my entire life. So music was my first love, really. And I knew I couldn't sing. I knew I couldn't rap. I really wasn't good at
what am I doing over here?
What am I doing with the music? So I used to go to sleep listening to Joyce Littell. And every night I would have every so often I would have this reoccurring dream. I would see myself in the studio.
Wow.
But I would be hearing her voice. So when it was time to go to college, I really didn't know what else to choose. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do mass comp. Went to Grambling first, shout out to my Grambling-ites. And then I came back and finished at Georgia State, which I finished in film and television. I was like, I eventually wanna go in there. So I started growing my social media following. Really, that was it. And telling my story about how I lost weight first. And I was going viral on that. And then I actually got invited on to 2 radio stations here in Atlanta within the same month. Like, back to back. One.
Were you putting in applications or like?
No. I got asked to come on from J Nix on Hot 107.9 first as Model Mondays.
Okay.
He had Model Mondays. So I was just a cute Instagram model girl. That's what they thought.
Right.
Right. He was like, let's bring her on as Model Mondays. And then the next week I was invited as Bae of the Week on Streetz 94.5. And so both of those stations I went on, I already knew what my dreams were. I already had this big personality. So I walked in pretty much like it was an interview. Wow. And just had so much personality. You know, guys that try to, when you a guy on the radio and they think you a cute girl, they kind of like try to down you or I don't know, hit you with jabs, but I'm coming right back at them. I'm hanging with the dudes. So both of the program directors actually, after those interviews, they both pulled me aside and was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing radio? We loved your voice. Wow. You seem so comfortable. You have this personality. So I was like, yeah, that's what I went to school for. And they both were like, they both offered me training, basically intern positions. We'll train you. We don't have a position for you right now, but we'll teach you board ops, will teach you everything you need to know. And I took both opportunities. I don't know if anybody else should do that, but I took both opportunities at the time because I was like, hey, I ain't on contract with nobody. So I'm going to go here on Wednesdays. I'm going to go there on Thursdays and learn whatever I can learn from both of them. Learned. And then one of them, Streetz, found out. They were like, oh, we're going to put you on suspension. You got to figure out what you want to do. And I made...
you got to choose a man.
You got to choose who you want it to be. So I made my decision, and I've been with Streetz ever since. That was like maybe 6-7 years ago now.
Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, there's a couple of little layers here, right? So let's talk about the losing 45 pounds and losing weight piece, and we're going to get into some of your upbringing, but so you found yourself several years ago heavier than you wanted to be.
Yeah, I was heavier my whole life. So I was 200 plus pounds in high school. Wow. I was the girl who tried out for dance team, and they told me hey, if you want to be on this dance team, you got to lose 15 pounds to even be in the uniform. Weight was always the issue for me. So after high school, after college, I was in college, I came home for Christmas, and I'll never forget, it was I was probably 22, and I had on some red slacks. And as soon as I walked in, my grandma, Southern grandma, y'all said, woo, what size are those pants, right? And when she said that, I was like, oh no, see, you rule, and I'm about to lose some weight, because y'all got me messed up.
How much were you weighing then?
My heaviest 225.
225.
225. I'm 5'9", so most people be like, oh, I couldn't tell, I didn't know. It's like, no, you saw it. You saw it. But yeah, so I went on this journey to just get fit, get fine. That was my first vision board I probably actually made. I put Beyonce abs, J-Lo butt. I had my whole body put together, you know what I mean? What I wanted, and I just really went hard at it, lost the weight. And from losing the weight, I just gained so much confidence in myself. And I feel like that weight loss journey really changed my mindset.
Right.
And that changed my life forever. So, and I don't regret ever being the size that I was, because unlike most beautiful girls, what I hear is I have a personality. So I feel like because I was heavier, it forced me to not rely on beauty. Like I had to be cool.
Looks wasn't your thing your whole life.
Right. Looks was not the thing. Nobody was looking at me like, yeah, she's fine, sexy, none of that. So it was like I definitely had to rely on my personality, but that helped once I lost the weight and I was invited on as this cute model girl. You know, they looking at me just to be cute, sit there all quiet. But I'm like, nah, I got this big personality. I gotta get out. So yeah.
So you're like, like a model fine now with a big girl personality.
Right. And that really helped me. That really did help me. So
that's awesome. So, and I can imagine, as you mentioned, not only like, okay, you could look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, I look good, I'm getting more maybe compliments or whatever, but the fact that you set out on a goal, a pretty aggressive goal, and meet that goal, had to build some confidence in you just achieving something. Yeah,
and it taught me like you could really do anything, like discipline. I come from, like I said, a Southern family. Everybody pretty much overweight if you look at my family, you know what I mean? And so just to really go against and change everything I was taught or eating habits, eating all your, you know what I mean? Like, it's the little things is the, don't even get up from the table until you finish eating all your food. It's like, nah, but I'm full. You know what I mean? Like, I really had to reprogram my mind when it came to how I talked to myself, even how I dated.
Right.
I was dating like a big girl. You know what I mean? Kind of accepting stuff that I would never accept now. You know?
Right. All right, you can treat me like that. All right.
Yeah, just accept, or even being the big home girl, like the big girl, like best friend or whatever. I was always, I'll take y'all pictures, I'll hold y'all bags, now it's like, no, I got confidence. So I really had to change all aspects of my mindset. And that, like I said, gave me the discipline, the willpower, the endurance, and keeping it off. Like, oh no, once I said I was never touching 200 pounds again, I have never touched 200 pounds again. Right. I ain't had no kids yet, but I was like, even when I have a baby, I do not want to see 200. Gotta get pre-baby weight.
That's amazing. No, I didn't expect the interview to kind of go that way, but actually what popped in my mind was just thinking about people in our audience, men or women, who might be suffering from the obesity trap.
Yeah. For sure, it's a trap.
And just the food trap, and just how we're all taught, many of us taught to eat, and just the fried foods and the bad foods.
Right,
and just
or convenient foods.
Yeah. So what are some of the top 3 things that you did in lifestyle change that helped you beat that obesity trap?
One of my things that I feel like people don't realize is like you don't have to deprive yourself. You just have to find a new healthy substitution.
Okay.
So like it never worked for me when I would try to just go cold turkey from sweets. Like sweets are my thing, right? I could never just, I'm not eating sweets for 6 months. No, I had to find something that tasted sweet that would fulfill that craving, but was healthy. So instead of eating chocolate or peanut M&Ms, I'm eating grapes or I'm eating almonds. You know what I mean? Something else that's comparable. So find something that you like, a healthy alternative. Finding healthy alternatives definitely helps with the longevity of maintaining your goals and just realizing it's so many things that you can take out of your diet that will make a huge difference. But for me, it was dairy. Like when I took dairy out, I lost 15 pounds.
Wow.
In like 30 days. The 45 days just from taking dairy out. I cleared, and I really did that first because I'm like, my skin, I keep breaking out. I hated wearing makeup. I was never a girly girl again, so I'm like, but I gave up dairy, cleared my skin, lost the weight. So it was like, it made me realize like, dang, a lot of the stuff that they tell us is important, like, you drink a glass of milk a day to make your bones.
Right.
It made me research all of the stuff that they were like, no, we're actually not supposed to be drinking.
Like, I don't need this cow's milk.
Yeah, no. So it's like, it made me question and dig deeper into research. Don't just listen to what everybody is telling you. That's been a commercial since we were kids.
Yep.
Do your own research and figure out. So that's one thing. Do your own research.
That's the trap though, right? So they pump to us, milk does a body good.
Yeah.
Right?
Make your bones strong. Yeah.
Right, all that. Like, there's no other sources of protein or something. And milk doesn't even have protein in it.
Right.
Higher Being Society, a wellness brand and community, supporting your evolution into the best version of yourself. Shop our one-of-a-kind waist trainer, rib lining making for a comfortable fit and durable enough for your toughest workouts. Please visit my website, thehigherbeingsociety.com, and enter code TRAP, that's TRAP, to get your 15% discount. This is an exclusive discount for How to Beat the Trap fans only, so don't miss out.
or in calcium, doesn't even have like sufficient level of calcium, but who's that benefit?
Right. The companies.
Right, and entices and entangles us, right, all growing up. We see the little kid with the muscle and drink milk, but so it entices and entangles us and make us think that we should be drinking milk and eating cheese and doing all this, and it benefits the dairy industries, but particularly for the benefit of them, while we are the ones that are breaking out and have unhealthy bodies
and getting obese,
lactose intolerant,
weighing what cows weigh. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to do that.
Sounds like a calf.
Right. So that and making sure you find healthy alternatives, as well as, let me see another good one. It was hard for me to. How do I even verbalize this? It was hard for me to do something different than what my family was doing. You know, like holidays. And all my family is here in Atlanta. So we eat dinner together at least once a week. Even if it's not Sunday, we might go out to eat. So it was like to be at a dinner table and everybody's picking out and they you know how we do. Oh, what's wrong with you? Why you not eating?
You get shamed.
Yeah, I'm getting shamed because I'm trying to make better choices, but to making sure, just being strong-minded, like, don't be afraid to go against what you've always done. Right. Now, that's what I had to, like, it's okay. You're not weird for that.
What allowed you to stay strong in that, though, when you're going against your peers, your family, and a whole lifestyle of habits? How'd you say that?
This gonna sound vain, but I just always knew I was a baddie on the inside. I just always knew, like, even in high school when all the jocks and none of the guys liked me, I used to be like, you don't know it yet, but you gonna be on my tail watch. So I just always knew, like, it was I had a yearning for something deeper inside of me. I knew it was some part of me that I needed to unleash. You know what I mean? And not to go crazy, but I just knew I hadn't reached my full potential. And that desire to show everybody and prove to myself and everybody that I could be greater than what they saw.
Absolutely. You know, I have my own kind of version of that where, like, I was kind of like, you know, growing up poor and kind of like, I never had the cool clothes. I had the high waters. I never had my grandmother here and there would give me some Jordans when everybody had Jordans, but I never really had like all the sneakers. When Timbs came out up north, like I had like the low top Timbs, and it wasn't even real Timbs, and like I was just corny.
Without the leather on it.
Yeah, I was just corny, right? Yeah. And so, but I knew I was fly inside though.
Yeah, you like, it's okay, I ain't got it right now.
Right. And then it was like my sophomore year. I remember when that flip switched, when I got a couple of little dollars, and it was like, all right, y'all gonna see, like, So I know that feeling when you like have a lot of kind of inner self confidence was not able to show just yet. So you were able to leverage a personal journey and personal goal that then transformed and created an opportunity for you that you didn't even know to be invited in as a model now.
Yeah.
For Model Mondays.
I'm like, model? Where? Facts. Especially on Instagram, I just was really consistent with posting. My best friend, shout out to Summer, she used to be like, yo, you have a really dope story. Like, so many women are like you. You should be posting and sharing this more. So I used to get up every day. Every single day, she would get up, make me take a pic, like, write, something dope in the caption. It's Fashion Over pics at this point, before Instagram had video, right?
Right.
So it's just pictures. Every single day I would post on Instagram for about a year. I grew over 100,000 followers in that first year, and that's when they invited me on. They're looking at who I was at that point, like, oh, she's a model, but I'm still like, model?
Right.
Okay, but I went on, had the personality, and that's how I got it.
You get a model invite and the Baywatch or
Bay of the Week. It was model.
Yeah, right. Model, so you get two of those, right, just off your own personal health journey, which then helped kind of compound what you went to school for and your gifts, and gave you an opportunity for radio on a major platform. So now you're over 500,000 followers and growing on Instagram and other platforms. And so where did kind of click or switch where that process started, where you went from just a radio host, right, working kind of with this corporation, building your own brand, to then being an entrepreneur with the waist trainers and TV production and the Airbnbs and stocks and everything else you're doing? How'd that kind of flip?
So I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My mom was a city attorney. She was a public defender, but ran for office. And even while she worked at 9 to 5, my mom had S&E auto sales. She sold cars. She sold dirt, like actual dirt. Like she bought a dump truck and was selling dirt to like people who needed dirt. I didn't even know people bought dirt, but
I could sell water to a well.
Man, I'm like, really, like she just hustled my entire, and she built every house that we lived in growing up. Like mini mansions until she got to bigger, like now she done built an $8 million house, you know, so.
I haven't seen it, but I heard about it. Ernestine was like, babe, you gotta go to this thing.
It's crazy. And I just saw her hustle and grind. So even as a kid, I knew I would be an entrepreneur. Like I would go with my mom, she always had an office. I would go in her office and I would like play like I was being something. Right. I don't know who I thought I was, but I was running a business. So I always had an entrepreneur spirit. I worked since I was 14. I got a fake ID at 14 so I could lie and say I was 15 so I could work at Athlete's Foot here.
Oh, you about that life.
Yeah, I never not had a job. So I always had the hustle spirit in me, and my grandfather started the Blue Flame. And so I worked it from 15 up to 28.
Well, for our audience here who may not be Atlanta familiar, what is the Blue Flame?
The Blue Flame is the first black strip club in the city of Atlanta, the longest running strip club, black strip club in the city of Atlanta, because Pink Pony was out first. But Blue Flame came about before Magic City, and we've been running still 50 years now, 47 years, something like that.
I ain't never been to the Flame, y'all.
Right, but yeah. So even in high school, I had little. You know how if your family have a business, you like, oh, can I sweep the floors? Something for like $200 a week. I was making bank in high school. You couldn't tell me nothing with my $200 a week.
Right.
From there, like I said, was in college, worked as administrative in the back in the Flame, and I was really never supposed to waitress. I was never supposed to waitress. I was never supposed to touch the floor. One day, this girl, we had a shot girl. She just randomly didn't show up for work. My uncle was like, somebody got to sell this. Bree, you do it. I was just there. He just, you do it. Because he didn't want to miss out. Touched that flow, made that money out. And that was my trap. I was like, I'm never looking back. You can't make me go to the office. It's too much money on the floor.
So you went to being in a strip club, working administratively.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Doing odd jobs. This is in college?
This is in college. In college, I babysitted my cousin. That was part of it. And I was working in the office, so I wrote all the payroll. I did the payroll, checks, administrative work, signed in the dancers.
Strip club payroll?
Yeah, strip club payroll. That's how I started. And then I went from shot girl to waitress.
Is this before the weight loss? Or
No, that was before. So yeah, that was before the weight loss. So I hadn't lost weight until I was waitressing, and that kind of also helped me lose the weight too. Cause I seen, it's like rappers and athletes and all these famous guys coming in here, and they not looking at me, they not paying me no mind. Like I'm not, and I'm like, I got an education, I'm this, I'm that, and
right.
You rather, it's cause you see their body, okay, that's what you need, body, okay. And it wasn't even about getting with them, it was about the bank. I need more money.
I need some tips.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome. So, all right. So you talking about radio host, entrepreneur, and you were working in that entrepreneur spirit in the family's strip club business.
Yep, in the strip club. And from there, that's when when I was waitressing, that's when I lost the weight. Lost the weight and then got invited on. I'm still waitressing. Got invited on to the radio station. Still working at the Flame, but learning at the radio station. And then I was doing music after I lost the weight and was in like that radio environment. I started doing music videos. Okay. So I was a music video girl for about like 2-3 years. And I was like, I done went to school for film and television. It's no way I could just be a cute girl I can't never just be the cute girl. Like, I gotta say something.
Right. I got things to say.
It'll eat me up. So from there, I was like, dang, I really want to be an actress. And I'll never forget, Tasha Smith came into the Flame. She was scouting it for a movie called When Love Kills. And it's a movie about a dancer, so it's based on a true story, and for TV One. And when she was scouting it, I'm telling her like, oh, I love you as an actress, and you're directing this film. That's super dope. And I always wanted to be an actress, and I went to school for film and television, and I had the eye, so I'm helping her set up the shot for the Flame. And that's when she was like, you know what, I'll give you a speaking role.
Wow.
She offered, just never knowing me, gave me a speaking role. I got bit by the acting bug. And then I was like, yo, I'm going to take her class. I took her class for 2.5 years, traveling back and forth between here and Atlanta, because mind you, still working at the Flame. Now I'm in radio a little bit, like I'm training. I trained for probably like a year before I got a time slot on the weekend as a part-timer. But it's still a weekend part-time role. So I'm like, I'm used to this bread. I'm still in the Flame. Right? The trap had its hold on me. I wasn't
Did you see your tips increase as you lost the weight?
For sure. Tips increased, DMs increased, everything increased. The dudes at the club hollering at me increased. I started getting dudes that was coming to the club just so I could be their waitress. Like, oh, I seen her on Instagram. I know you went there.
Music videos and all that.
Yeah, all that.
You just baddie.
Yeah, it was
out here.
super baddie. And then I'm like, I really want to be taken serious now. So yeah, I got to that point where I was on the fence of do I stay here at the Flame? Do I keep making this amazing money, meeting all these people? And of course, it's my family business, so people are like, oh yeah, you can own this one day. This will be yours. Like, and I just kept looking like, dang, but the furthest I'ma be is from the floor to the back to where I already was. That's not no growth for me.
Right.
I'm always been a person about growth, so I'm like, dang, that's the furthest I can go. I feel like I'm bigger. And my mom always was in my ear about, you're so much bigger than this club. Don't let this club, like, hold you. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What was your biggest earning week as a waitress in the Flame?
Oh, I'm trying to think of week. Every time I can think of one night I made like $5,000, and it was because Future, Thug, Usher, they had a concert here. And so not only did I make my money that night working, but they wanted to keep the club open. I knew me and Future was real. We was hype back then. He hit me up like, hey, we coming to the Flame after this concert, but the club closed at 3. So he was like, but can you pick me out like 10, 15 girls, and we're gonna do a private little thing, you know what I mean? At the Flame though.
Right.
So it was like, okay, yeah. So I got my uncle to be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna close down the club at 3, get everybody out quickly. They gonna come in. I handpicked out a few girls, and yeah, he gave me probably like $3,500 just for setting it all up. But I had already made 15 that night.
5 bands in a night?
In a night, I was going home like, oh! Couldn't tell me nothing.
Awesome. All right, so let's do a quick trap analysis. I got some more questions for you. Okay. A quick trap analysis. So we got Bree Renee from the A here. Mm-hmm. You beat the obesity trap.
Yep.
After consistently keeping it off. You've been able to manage your way through your own version of the corporate trap.
Right.
Right, working in the family business, working in other odd jobs, and then leveraging that environment to actually create a new opportunity for you, and then leveraging radio as a corporate trap to be able to create new opportunities for you, more brand exposure, and beat the culture trap. You could have got sucked in to that culture of fast money, of men, just of the
a drug. It's a drug.
The adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Of compliments, of ego, of all that.
And it's but not to cut you off, Jay, but it's so important that you are talking about those aspects of it, because when I was like 18, getting ready to go off to college, right? My mom kept drilling in me that she did not want me in the club. And I kept feeling like, is it because you think I'm gonna be on drugs? Like, I'm not stupid.
Right,
I'm not gonna be on drugs, and no guy is ever gonna pimp me. But I didn't realize till I was in the trap that no, it's so many other things that are pulling at you other than drugs and guys pimping you out. It's like you said, it's ego, it's adrenaline of getting that money, that fast money. Like that's
lifestyle.
That lifestyle, the increasing your overhead, and now you can't afford to not leave the club.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so many other layers to it that I didn't know.
And that's part of the culture trap, right? That many of us go through as we make more money, whether it be in the corner trap or culture trap, or maybe for women, men, whatever. Mm-hmm. We get more money. Then we increase our lifestyles so it can look like somebody else getting more money.
Yeah.
And now you got to make more money to keep up the lifestyle that you created for yourself. And then as a woman, it's like, okay, I got this bag, I got these shoes.
Yeah.
And now these men expect me to look a certain way. And it just comes a vicious cycle. And secretly for the benefit of the corporations that
look, I'm going to tell anybody out there, even if you are in the club, don't listen to what nobody say and live below your means. Save. When I tell you I graduated college debt-free, I bought my first house and paid off a car before I bought myself anything name brand. Like, I didn't own a pair of red bottoms.
Trap bars.
I didn't own none of that because I already was conditioned to know, like, how having somewhere, a roof over your head, having a car. I had a paid off Mazda and the trap too. Being in the Flame, my mom is pulling up in a Bentley, right? So people in the Flame, dancers used to tell me all the time, like, why you coming in here with them Air Max on and you driving a Mazda and your mama got a Bentley? And I'm like, cause that's what my mama can afford. But I am pulling up in here in these sweatsuits and these, you know what I mean, these Nikes, and I'm driving that paid off Mazda.
Wow.
Because that's what I could afford.
What gave you that kind of discipline? Because most people get sucked into the peer pressure. The whole culture trap is all about peer pressure.
For sure.
It's all about, the last name Jones. The Joneses is doing this, I gotta keep up, right? Or this queen pulled up in a little Bentley or Benz, whatever. Now I gotta try to keep up. What gave you that self-confidence to be like, yo, I'm gonna stay within my means, even though I could get a man to take care of me and do something else. I could have my mama do something for me or whatever else. What gave you that confidence to stay right in your lane?
I just always been one that wanted my own. I don't think it's confidence, it's just hunger. It's like an appetite, like an insatiable appetite. Like I said, since I was 14, we always had, the bills were paid. I didn't have to work, but I wanted to. I just always felt, I took a sense of pride in being able to say, no, I did that for me. You know what I mean? Or I got me. I think it was just a matter of, and my mom really drilled like survival skills into us as kids. Like she talked about, I knew how to write a check at 5, 6 years old. I knew how to balance a budget and I knew how much bills cost in elementary school. I wrote out my mom would give me her checkbook, give me the bills, I would write it out. It was her money, but I was writing the checks. Every time we went to the grocery store, I wrote it out. And it taught me so much early on, because I used to be telling my sister, like, cut that light off. The lights is going. You know what I mean? Because this month, it was more than what it was last month. So I feel like teaching your kids about finances early on, that really helped me see. And even when I was in college, I remember I bought my first house at 22 before I graduated college.
Wow.
And I remember, because I was waitressing, so I was making all this bread, and I'm like, why would I pull up to my $1,100 rent? Was only $1,100 then. But I was like, why would I? Right. I was like, why would I pull up to my $1,100 apartment with $1,500 shoes on? That didn't make sense to me, like financially. So I was like, I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna buy me a house first, because the mortgage on at the time, my house was $80,000. No, I bought it for $60,000, and the mortgage was like $300 a month. And I was like, why is everybody not doing this? I even had started a program called Smart Money Makes Money when I was waitressing for dancers and girls in the club with my financial advisor. Shout out to Xavier Peoples. He was a banker for Arthur Blanks and all these millionaires, right? And he was a financial advisor and helping me. So I was like, let's teach these girls how to save their money, how to file taxes, how they can buy a house, because there's no reason why you should be making the average dancer or somebody that works in the strip club at the time when I was waitressing was bringing home $120, $150 a year and don't have a car and don't have a house. That was insane to me.
Right.
So it was like, I'm okay with living below my means to stack up and buy this house cash, buy me a car, pay it off so I can live a better life and make sure no matter what, I got a roof over my head.
Right. It's like, what's that dancer retirement plan?
Yeah, what is your retirement plan?
How do you get off the pole? Because you're only gonna get older. There's always a new person coming in.
And my uncles me and my uncles that running it, they used to be, rest in peace, Ski, he used to be like, don't no man want nothing old but some money, especially in this game. Like, you know what I mean? So It was like, after you get to a certain age in there, you become less desirable, you making less money, you gonna get tired. You got kids and all that, like, plan for the future.
That's dope. We need to talk about that program again, too. We said Smart Money Makes Money.
Smart Money Makes Money.
Smart Money Makes Money.
I definitely want to bring it back and help girls in the club, whether you waitressing, dancing, even dope boys, you know what I mean? That's the trap, too. Like, learn how to transition, because there is a way to transition out of that trap.
It's not forever. You could use the trap. You could come up in that joint, take your little piece before it snatch you and get up there.
Use it. I'm telling you to use it. It's free money. It's so easy. There's no other place in the world that that you could walk in, no experience, no education, and leave with some money. Like tonight. You can leave with some cash tonight. You know what I mean? And don't have to do nothing weird. You can go in here and just dance or, sell your drinks or whatever.
Right.
So, but
you get sucked into the culture.
Yeah.
You gonna go blow that money on something else to make yourself look like something that what you ain't got.
Right.
Or put the priorities of consumerism over a roof over your head.
Man.
And now you just in the cycle.
Man, I remember my homegirl had to tell me I had saved up $100K, bought a house and a car, and she was like, girl, why you keep wearing these wooden heels? That's what she used to go, buy you some nice shoes. You got some bread now. I had to like really break out of that because I didn't believe.
That 100K was looking good.
That 100K was looking nice, okay? But yeah.
No, that's so dope. That's an amazing story. So you're doing that, hustling, being financially responsible, all while building the brand, being on the radio, leveraging your gifts, all of that, and then not even like taking the shortcuts you could have taken. Like, that's super dope. Big
Do
example.
shortcuts exist? I feel like shortcuts don't exist. We talk about them.
Shortcuts cut you short.
Yeah, they cut you short. Shortcuts cut you short. You gonna pay for it either on the front end or the back end.
Trap bars.
Yeah, so I feel like let me just do it up front so everybody know it's already been done and it's paid for. It's already been paid for in sweat equity.
All right, so let's talk about, so you talked about some of your upbringing, right? Mom's entrepreneur, getting it in. You have siblings, only child?
No, I have an older sister. She's 9 years older than me.
Okay, awesome. And so you go through your journey in life. Let's talk about your trap transition, right? So you was almost getting sucked in, you said, to the waitressing. You got some choices to make. So here you are, transformed from big girl to baddie.
Right.
Right? you on Bay of the Week, Model of the Week. You on videos, Instagram model, like what a lot of girls and young girls aspire to be. Like literally in this day and age, a lot of girls, teenagers, et cetera, are aspiring to be that sought after because of that rush of those likes, of those DMs, of those comments, and all that adrenaline rush of people like admiring you, right?
Yeah.
So you could have got sucked into that and just being a vixen and just being a model, right? And blowing money on that and just looking and spending good. What was the aha moment from the club and just through that lifestyle? What was the aha moment that, you know, that one day, that one time, that one moment of instance where it's like, yo, I know change the trajectory. Like, I know y'all not boxing me in. I'm up out of here.
For me, I'm trying to think. Dang, that's a good question, Jay. Nobody ever asked me that.
Woo, woo. Interviewer.
Yeah, I'm like, what was that aha moment? I want to say it was Tasha giving me that speaker role. They let me know, like, oh, wait, all those dreams you had as a little girl, you can do them. You have connections, you know, because at that point, I knew all the rappers. You know what I mean? I already had my foot in radio, and I'm like...
You could turn up.
I could really do anything. Like, wait a minute. She just put me in a movie, and I never did any. I never took an acting class. I never did, you know?
Right.
So it was like, oh, all it take, I got the hustle. All it take now is a little skill, a little training. So that's what made me. And then I ran into Will Packer. Where did I run it? I ran into him at this random bar. And it was our birthday. His birthday is like right around my birthday. So it's like a group of people. We're all at the bar just taking drinks.
Who's Will Packer, for those who don't know?
Will Packer is an amazing producer here not here in Atlanta. He's worldwide, but he's produced Girls Trip, a lot, I think Like a Man, a lot of amazing movies. But I spoke to Will Packer and I was like, why do y'all use LA talent versus Atlanta talent? And he was like, well, Atlanta, y'all not trained. Y'all just got the culture. But y'all not skilled. And I was like, well, if I got the culture, all I'm missing is the skill. Let me go get the skill. And so I think for me, it was him saying that, Tasha putting me in that movie, and then I reached out to Tasha and said, hey, I want to come train at your class in LA, but I'm going to be traveling back and forth. I really can't afford it. She gave me basically a scholarship to come train at her school. And I went once by myself, completely by myself, did like a day trip, went to class and came back. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a break from the front. I had to trick myself out of the trap.
Okay. Trap tricks.
I had to trick myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to just do... Because I had never missed a holiday. This is my family club, so I never missed a holiday working. I had every New Year's Eve, so Thanksgiving.
You always in the strip club.
I was always there getting the bread. I was a slave to that dollar. So I was a slave to the trap at this point. I'm thinking the trap, I'm using trap using me at this point, okay? So I'm like, I just needed a break after that birthday. I was like, I just need a break. I went to her class and I said, you know what? I'm gonna take 30 days off. I've been working here since I was 15. At this point, that's almost 15 years. At that point, it was like 12. I was like, I'm going to take 30 days off. I took 30 days off. 30 days turned into 45 days. And then after the 40, and not only did I take 30 days off from the flame, I said, I'm not going in no strip club. I really had to treat it like a drug.
Right.
Like, I am detoxing from the strip club for 45 days. I missed my mom's birthday party in the Flame and everything.
Wow, you said mine.
I can't come to this party this year. I've been there every other year. We going out to eat with the family. I'll catch you at that. I'm not coming to there. I cannot. I'm doing 45 days. I really had to practice that.
Trap transition.
I even YouTubed the process. I talked about it, but after that 45 days, I just was like, the confidence that I had in myself after going to LA and seeing like the opportunities that had unfolded in just that little bit of time, meeting Will Packer, Tasha, all of that, I was like, I can't go back. If I go back, I'll never leave.
Right.
I knew that was the moment where I was like, I just gotta keep going.
You wouldn't be you today, you'd be this strip club version of Brii.
Yeah. I would still be very Atlanta. Like, I'm still Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? But just stuck in that. In that box.
The Atlanta trap.
You can't, the Atlanta trap. Like, you can't really exceed at what you want to do or excel at what you want to do until you take a leap of faith. It was that leap of faith. That leap of faith changed my whole life.
So you were flying from Atlanta to LA.
Every week.
Every week?
Every week. Monday.
Like a bus trip.
Like, right. On a 4-hour flight.
Right. For acting class.
So the first 8 months, I would do day trips. I would get on the red eye, the first 6 o'clock flight. I think it's like 5:45 that leaves Hartsfield to LAX. I would get a rental. I would get like these mystery, I would do like the manager special. It would always be a minivan for some reason for like $30 a day. And then go to acting class. I would shoot content. Because I already doing content, I would shoot a week's worth of content in like 3 hours, then go to class. Class would be over at 10. I would be heading from 10 p.m. I would get to LAX and get on that 12:40 flight. Be back in Atlanta by 5 a.m.
Day trip.
So a full day trip. I did that for 6 to 8 months. Sometimes I would get called like the flight I might be booked or I might miss the flight. I would be sleeping. I done slept in LAX. I done slept in rental cars. I done hid, because, LAX ain't like Hartsfield. It's shut down.
Right.
So I done had to hide in the back. Like, I done did some wild. Listen, so then my mom was like, look, I don't feel as comfortable with you doing that back and forth like that. So I had to get me a spot in LA. So then I would kind of try to stay, like, I would do maybe like Monday, Tuesday in LA, and I would come back to Atlanta, because I was on the radio on Sunday.
Wow.
So I had to be back in Atlanta by Sunday at least, Saturday and Sunday.
And this was you chasing your acting dream.
Yep. I did that for 2.5 years before.
To get skilled.
Yep, to get skilled before the pandemic hit.
That's awesome.
Yep, COVID shut it down, and now everything virtual. I'm like, well, where was y'all at when I was paying all this money to go back and forth?
Right.
But yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that was an amazing trap transition. So you got focused. These moments of other people kind of awakening you. And what I found...
And shout out to Future. I do got to shout out to Future, because Future has told me, like, one time, he was like, so what you want to do? Like, you got this personality and everything, but I know you just don't want to be a waitress. Like, you better than that. And I'm like, he was the first person that said that, before Tasha, before Will Packer. And I was like, really? Like, you think I'm better than that? Like, at that point, I was so used to the Flame being...
Right. This is you, a baddie in the club, waitressing, and one of the most infamous strip club kings in the world, Future,
sure. Yeah,
is telling you, not like real you win, like, yo, like,
nah, yeah,
he's saying like, you better than this.
He was asking me like, what's your plan? And I didn't have one. And I'm like, well, I don't know, my family on the Flame. So he was like, nah, I feel like you bigger than that.
Right, what's your plan?
Yeah, what's your plan? I was like, oh, well, I didn't think I needed one. Let me go to, and then the music videos and all that stuff started. And then Tasha and Will Packer came along and put those little gems. So it was other people seeing it in me first.
Wow.
Really, before I saw it in myself.
That's amazing. I want to say to anybody that's caught in a strip club trap or any related trap of fast cash money or the trap of Instagram, models, vixens, all those kind of things that kind of come from just like...
instant gratification.
Yes. The instant gratification, especially when it comes to like, what's it? It's the adrenaline, but it's some people are like admiring you and bigging you up, and just like that whole thing.
Like a dopamine.
It's a big drug, right? Anybody in that, I want to ask you, and if you know someone in that trap, ask them, text them today, what's your plan? Like, what's your exit strategy? Right? Because you can't do it forever, right? Those are jobs you can't do forever. You can't be a drug dealer forever. You can't.
It's impossible.
You gotta have an exit strategy, right? You can't be a stripper forever. You gotta have an exit strategy. So we wanna challenge you all to that here today on How to Beat the Trap. So, okay, man, you got a lot. A lot going on, amazing journey. So now I got you in a trap seat. And so in the trap seat, we want to talk about first and foremost, trap blown, right? It's kind of a game we play.
Trap blown?
Trap blown, right?
Okay.
So listen, so trap blown is, you already blew my mind just with many of the stories in this journey. Right, correct. We're gonna blow the trap up.
Right.
Many of the stories that you already shared. I mean, the fact that you are an actress, you were already in a TV or film before you ever even
took classes
in acting, but then found intentionality. But I think intentionality is what you really did. You were intentional about like, yo, I'm out of here. But we're a waitress in a strip club, lost 45 pounds to become this model, vixen, dancer, all these things, and now in your entrepreneur journey and brand journey, and now producing films, right? It's just like a level up, an amazing level up. So we're gonna play a few different trap blown scenarios.
Okay.
And you mentioned something about LAX. I kind of want to hear about that. So trap blown is this: blow our minds and tell us. First, we're gonna start with this: blow our minds and tell us one of the most amazing or best experiences that you've had in your life and on your journey. Like something that's just like, yo, I can't even believe I'm here with them, or I just did this, or this just happened to me.
God. I feel like I done had so many, but I'm trying to think. I think for me, it might, the first moment I had like that I can always think about, and I actually like went home and journaled about it, was
journaled?
Yeah, like it was because I was a heavier girl, and when I lost the weight, just feeling unseen by guys and rappers and celebrities. But again, Future was one of the first people that saw me. And so we had a really
Shout out to Future.
Future that was one of my
Future
good
got
friends.
vision.
Yeah, he did. And I was in the studio with him when he made, it was a song with Drake, but I heard him lay down his verse. And when it came out, I was like, I can't believe I was in the studio, like when I heard them play Drake part, and then, so that part I was like, dang. And of course I was there with some other baddies that I had brought, you know what I'm saying, for in entertainment. But at the same time, I was like, dang, I can't believe I'm in this environment, like with these people, and I'm being seen. I'm not just the
invisible girl.
Yeah.
Hold the phone.
Right. Doing something weird. Like I was there. I was part of it. So I was like, that was an amazing experience for me. And that, like I said, the beginning of a friendship between him and I, and that friendship is what really was the first that sparked my belief that I could be something bigger.
Now, you've been pretty conservative and smart with money, but has there been one time where you blew a bag where you're like, you know what, I need to treat myself and I'm gonna just let it go on this one? Give us a blow a bag story, like where you just.
Okay, so one time, this is after I had my little money saved. I was in Saks here in Atlanta, and I walked in the Chanel store, and this lady was like, the Chanel part of Saks, and this lady's like following me around the whole store, but like she's really like hovering, and I'm like, can I help you? Right. So she's like, oh yeah, everything I'm picking up, she's kind of like telling me the price, and it's like, I don't need you to tell me the price of this. Like I got this. So I bought 3 Chanels that day. I think I spent like $15,000. On my I put it on my American Express. I knew I got good credit too, I built that up. But I was like, let me show her that. You don't know who you're talking to. Now, I spent $15,000 on 3 different Chanels, but I took 2 of them back afterwards. I took 2 back, like, no, I can't.
I was wildin'.
Yeah.
But you felt it that day, though, right?
Yeah, I was like, girl, you ain't finna keep telling me. It don't matter. I'm not looking at the price tag. And I really had no intention of buying nothing that day, but I bought 3 and took 2 back.
I got it.
Yeah, right.
That's dope. That's an amazing story. And I love how real you are, too. You're like, look, I ain't even got a front. Look, I took them back.
I took 2 of them back. Okay.
Oh, in real life. Awesome. So, okay, let's get into this other part of our episode, and it's really about you being able to give some advice, which we have done the whole time, looking at, like, your younger self, or somebody that might, again, be faced in any of those traps, right? It might be an obesity trap. It might be somebody that's been coming through either radio or acting, trying to be a personality as well, or someone that's a Instagram model, or certainly in the club. What's some advice you would give your younger self or somebody that's in that trap? What's some advice? And it's really called the trap cheat sheet.
Right.
Like what's some specific advice they can do and things they can follow? Like not just so much even if it's motivation, but like, yo, try doing this to give yourself a chance to beat this situation.
So many I can get you on each level. So fitness first, it's really mindset. It's really mindset. I know we feel like our body can control, like, oh, I'm having these cravings, I can't help it. But it's mindset. The moment you decide that you're not gonna do that no more, you're not finna eat that, you don't buy it. That start there. Don't buy it in the bad food that you're not supposed to have. It won't be in your house. You can't eat something you don't have. Don't buy it.
Trap bar.
You can't eat it if it's not in the house. And I'm talking about don't buy it for your son. Don't trick and say, well, my husband, like, no, we're not eating this in this house, right? So find your healthy alternatives. Make up your mind. Once you really make up your mind that that's what you are going to do or not going to do, everything will fall in place for you. Your mind controls your body, not the other way around. That's fitness. When it comes to, weight loss and women, when you're transitioning, like, be confident and love your body at every stage. I feel like I did not love me as much then as I do now. But the parts of me that I love the most now, I had then. You know what I mean? So it's like, love you at every stage. I think as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves with like how we supposed to look and what, and you're never, even with looking like the vixen that I look like now, I still have the days where I'm like, girl, you need to lose 10 pounds. You know what I mean? Because we're women, you're always gonna feel like that. So you might as well love yourself throughout that journey. Wow. The strip club, to every dancer, waitress, everybody in there, and I feel like dope boys, y'all go right along. We the female, the strip clubs, anybody that work in a strip club is like a female dope boy to me. Like, it's the same thing, fast money, fast-paced lifestyle. You have to save your money. All these money depreciates, clothes lose their value, you know what I mean? But make sure you build in certain relationships, utilize that especially in the strip club. Everybody and anybody come through there. And it's not a coincidence that they in your section or you dancing for them. And if you meet them, if you know them, make those connections. Don't be afraid or ashamed of where you are right now. Because I made a lot of connections then that still look out for me to this day. Make those connections, save your money, invest your money, buy a house, build your credit up while you can. You are never, when I tell you are never gonna see money like that again, like how easy it comes, how fast. So it's like you might as well make it work for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I built my credit up during that time. I graduated college debt free. Like, those are things that the money is gone, but they can't take those pieces away from me. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So do things like that can set up your future. Jay is always talking about real estate, but when I tell y'all that's the best thing I did was buy the first and the best investment I made in my life was purchasing a house at 22 years old. Buy a piece of property, even if you don't know what to do with it, because they're not making no more land. They not. They gonna make some more Jordans in the next month. They gonna make some more Chanels or red bottoms or whatever you like. They gonna keep making that. But they not making no more land. Buy some land, invest in yourself, and it's okay. You can transition out. I think that a lot of people you see, and everybody that done worked in the strip club, you know, you might see a girl do a going away party. And that was such a thing. I never did one, and I ain't been back. But it's so many people that do going away parties that come back. But you know why? Because they so caught up on the I'm leaving, I can't wait to show y'all I'm out, but they don't have a plan. It's okay if your plan not loud. Like, create a plan.
Trap bars.
Yeah, create that plan, execute. And it's okay to do them simultaneously. So I didn't leave the strip club and then get in radio and then get in acting. I was working at the strip club and got in radio and got in acting. So it's the same thing as like somebody working a 9 to 5. I wouldn't never tell nobody who working a 9 to 5, just quit your 9 to 5 and then start being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like, start it now. Yeah, so when you leave, you already got that ball rolling. You know what I mean? So you're not just starting from zero is scary, no matter what you're doing or what stage in life you are. So start while you already got the momentum of something else. You got that money funding in, you got something that can like jumpstart whether you want to do teeth whitening or body contouring, whatever you want to do, you can start it while you're there. Use everybody that you have connections with to like be your resources.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I could go on and on, Jay.
That's a super trap cheat sheet. If you got anything else, give it to him. What I just kind of pulled from that was like, what I think any dope boy, stripper, dancer, whatever could do, any fast money getter, is, to your point, like, the relationships you make, right, in that industry. Like, even for dope boys, you go in and spend all this money on cars and jewelry and all those kind of things, but what kind of relationship are you making outside of being a consumer?
Yeah.
Can you do business with that person later for your exit strategy? So, like, work on simultaneously an exit strategy the whole time you're selling dope, and we want you to stop eventually for your own freedom and for your family livelihood. Same thing in the clubs. So it's like, work on your plan simultaneously. One of the biggest things you can invest in with fast money is your credit.
Facts.
That's one of the best flips you can make. Imagine making $1,000 a day cash, but you paying off your debt, you getting secure credit cards, you getting secure loans, you building up your credit while you're doing that, and now that $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 you put into your credit is now a $50,000 credit line.
Right.
That's a crazy flip. That's 10 times your money of just access to other people's money and credit that you can constantly use again, right? And that could be a $250,000 credit line or credit card. So a dancer—
Build your credit. Build your credit. That's the easiest thing you could do.
It's fake money. It's paper money that you can use to exit. Like I tell dope boys, I know how to, but I'll never tell you because I ain't going to the feds. I know how to wash money and clean money, but I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
But what I can tell you is this. If you're a dope boy trying to exit the dope game, you can build your credit. Whatever you do with your dope money, you put that up. You do whatever you do with that. You can literally exit the dope game just off leveraging your credit. That's clean money.
Facts.
Credit is clean money for you to start your business, to start your record label, to start your whatever. You never got to touch dirty money. And I'm gonna do one better for you. Not even just clean money, but that's what kept me afloat. Cause acting gigs come and go. This a whole nother hustle I went into. So while I'm hustling, I still got mortgage bills to pay. I got like all that. I lived off my credit card because I had great credit. And then paid it off and make sure you're still paying it off every month with the money that you had saved. So I'm not running through my cash savings. I'm using other people's money. Correct.
To survive while I'm using my savings to invest or, keep all my balances low. But if I hadn't had great credit, I would have probably been hungry a long time ago. Right?
So listen, an intentional plan, invest in your credit, and keep track of the relationships you're making while you're still in the trap. Those relationships could be the same relationships you use when you come out of the trap.
Thanks.
So I think that's a super trap cheat sheet that Queen Bree Renee just gave us right now. Queen, you dropped some gems, some trap bars, mad inspiration.
Hopefully.
Some funny stories.
Right.
All of that. We covered like 3 or 4 traps today.
We did.
Where can folks find you, whether it be men, women, whatever, be empowered by you, find you, support your waist trainer, your lines, your products, any of that? Where can they get that?
Yes, so make sure you follow me on all social media at Bree's the name, and that's Bree with an I, STHENAME. So Bree, BRISTHENAME. And follow my line, Higher Being Society. I have a waist trainer that I sell, and as well my fitness book when I tell you all my secrets on how I lost 45 pounds and maintained it. And the page and the community that I'm building is just about us all evolving into the very best versions of ourselves, no matter where you are in your journey. Big girl, fine girl, dope boys, all y'all welcome. Look.
Everybody welcome.
Everybody welcome, because we all got trying to evolve into the best version of ourselves.
We should be, for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for spending some time with me here today in the trap. I feel like I want to just keep you here.
Right. I'm always around,
Just keep pulling out gems in game. But you gave us a lot today. I super appreciate you, Queen.
Thanks for having me on season 1.
You already know. Had to.
The trap, come on,
Had to be Bree Renee from the A in the trap.
Look.
All right, guys. Y'all all support Queen Bree. We're going to see what we can do to support her as well. And you all make sure you stay tuned. Share this podcast. Subscribe on all channels, all platforms, social media, etc. And I'll see you on the next episode of How to Beat the Trap in Real Life. Hey, peace, family. Real estate pioneer Jay Morrison coming to you live from the Black House. Why haven't you got your first of its kind interactive video textbook experience, the 12-step real estate crash course? This book will make you a real estate power player in real life with over 6.5 hours of video lessons with 290 pages of real workbook experiences, tests, quizzes, assessments that give you the skill set, mindset, and formulas needed to dominate in real estate and be a power player in any part of the industry in real life. Homeowner, realtor, wholesaler, landlord, flipper, developer, don't matter. You need this book. Your family needs this this book, go tap in, click the link right now for your interactive, first of its kind video textbook experience in real life. Tap in.
12stepvideotextbook.com.